Hey guys, third part of this little trip I'm having. In the second part, I said something about not going up the hill and cruise control. Just wanted to mention that in fifth gear, it being 1700 RPM climbing the hill, I didn't have a whole lot left in the pedal. Meaning, I wasn't 3/4 or full throttle. That's not what I'm saying. Probably about half throttle, but just the way this tune is programmed, there's not a whole lot left after half throttle. Pretty aggressively, on the positioning. As far as the tune goes, I got the most mild tune you can install on your truck. I think it's a 30 horse tune or 40 horse tune. That's the smallest tune there is. It's the first one. Anyways, wanted to keep you guys up on this mileage thing. I'm getting exactly 14. That's from the time I hooked up to the time till now, 30 miles out of Spokane. I reset this trip. As you can see, I've traveled pretty much 55 miles. Average miles per gallon is 15, and average speed, as you can tell, is 70 because I didn't stop. I just set the cruise at 70 and I've been maintaining 70. But more or less, just wanted to say that, I'm not getting 50 miles to gallon realistically, but on the flats, on the straights, no city driving, not stopping, I guess I'm bringing in 50, but that's a bunch of junk. Look at this real number, the 13. Oh, hold on a second. There's nobody around me, but I gotta still focus. I don't know if you can see there, it's average. It's 13.1 right now. So anyways, I'm very happy with this truck as far as gas mileage goes. Because of the rear end I have like 342 or something like that. It's crazy. It's just a crazy rear end. It's a really high speed rear end. But it works. Pulls like a dream. And I wish I had, in a perfect world, realistically, with this transmission, I wish I had 355s. Aisin themselves are geared pretty steep. Like the first 3 gears are pretty short gears, so works out pretty good with the higher speed rear end. 373s is probably as steep as I'd go for a final drive, the rear end gear ratio. I do have one truck with 410s, but it's just too much, 373s is probably as far as I would go, on a typical dually. 355s is where I would be at, ideally, I think, for a guy like me that uses these pickups hauling stuff, like my work trucks, they're 99.5% hauling a trailer behind them, Once in a blue moon, the guy will unhook, God knows for what. We'll unhook him in the yard, go around the shop and put him inside the shop. But the point is, we haul all the time, so 355s would be ideal with this transmission. When I first bought the truck with 342s, I was so set on 373s because 373s and they're pretty common rear ends and everybody loves them because it's like that higher speed hauler rear end. But then the more and more I learn about these 6.7s, they're beasts. They're just monsters on low end. The kind of torque that they could produce. Even putting this truck on second stage, it's just too much. It's just too much. I gotta admit, my work trucks that are all stock, quote unquote stock, they're deleted, but they're stock. They don't have the exhaust, they don't have the intake like I do. They're not as aggressive as this truck is. I never really knew the difference of an intake or no intake up until recently. I've driven one of my trucks that were deleted, and they're just not as aggressive. They can't suck in air as fast. So, on a small scale, it's not as aggressive. It's not as brutal. It doesn't rip everything out. Like this truck on first stage, it has too much torque. And I know you're gonna say it's never too much, but understanding mechanics at a simple, beginner's level, understanding that instant torque, that low end torque, 50 1500, you know, like I'm doing right now, 1550, it's just a hair over 1500. You know, these small, you know, these small grades up and down, it's fine, you know, it has all the power it needs. And yeah, you know, the load is aerodynamic and all, but that's still, you know, truck's 9,000, trailer's 6,000, bro, you're at, you know, 15,000, and we're at 24 gross, so mix that piece of steel, or 2 steel plates, a couple cross member, tubular cross members, puts it at 9,000, you know, and it's phenomenal. It's just the way it pulls, like I said, you know, the other tunes, I did have it in 4th tune once for a very short time. I mean, I think about half a year ago, I got some new tunes and I tried it, towing with it. It's just stupid. The most recent tune, which happens to be more aggressive, it's a smoother, more aggressive, meaning, you know, at the throttle, it doesn't just joist you, but it's still more aggressive tune. And I put it in the highest one. It's just stupid, man. I was fishtailing all over this highway. I was doing 60 and I was fishtailing. I'm running 295s, not the fattest tires in the world, but here, let me try this. I'm gonna downshift it to 5th gear. We got a hill climb to do, and leave it in cruise control. You know, we're at 17 feet. No, that's about 1800. It's about 1800 RPM. I'll show you guys how this thing climbs. Crappy thing is that uphills, you don't really get a percentage grade. It's only on the downhills. Definitely not more than a 7. No, it can't be a 7% grade. Not more than a 6% grade, but not less than a 5. So, I mean, we're climbing just fine. I mean, sorry about the shaky quality, but that's just the best I can do for you guys. 5 miles to gallon all on this hill. But anyways, you know, we're still doing 15 miles to gallon somehow. It'll drop here. I mean, it's real time, you know, 14.9. We'll probably bring it down to 14.5 by the time we're done with this hill, by the time we crest the hill. But anyways, this is just a prime example, you know. Nobody's catching up. No one's about to be beside me. Anyways, and I just want to show you guys, man. That's all I want to do is just show you guys what these things are capable. And not everyone are fortunate like I am as far as being out there and testing these things and checking things out, you know. But yeah, I mean, you guys see the temps don't really go anywhere, you know. Like coolant, like typically it bounces up and down between 190 and 201. I mean, it's staying at 197. I don't even know how, 199, but it'll bring it up to, you know, 201 and drop it back down. Well, it started dropping it back down early. We're back to 197. You know, trannies 168, just like it was. You know, oil 204. That's nothing. All right, we're done. More or less crest of the hill, you know. Still climbing a little, as you could tell. Well, can't really tell. Sorry, guys. I should have done a better footage of the hill. But anyways, I just absolutely really like these trucks and the way they're tuned and whatnot. Back to what I was saying about these final drives. So 342s are perfect gear ratios, you know. I thought I was the genius in criticizing the engineers. Why would you put 342s, yada yada? Well, it's perfect gear ratio for these engines with the torque that they produce. That's more than plenty, you know. Another reason why I'm going with the smallest tune is, get alone, you know, when I'm driving empty, not to rip all the guts out of the truck. But with a stronger tune, you got so much more torque. I mean, it already has gobs of torque, but then you got so much more torque. It doesn't downshift for nothing. Cruise control or pedal, when you're climbing hills, you really got to get into it. You know, at the point where it's downshifting, it's making so much power. I feel like it's burning to the transmission. I just feel like that. Might not, but still, just don't feel right. Just run it at the 30-40 horse tune, the simplest one, smallest tune there is, and truck just goes, you know. When you drive if you drive this truck specifically, it'll feel like it has, you know, so much more power than the stock ones. If we're talking about drag racing these trucks, whoever drag races them, yeah, I'll pull on a stock truck, but not that much. Now, if you're towing, you know, the stock truck's going to be going through gears, dropping gears. I'll drop a gear like you saw that hill. I don't know. I'll go back. I might go back in the video and see what kind of footage I did. I feel like I did a pretty crappy footage of that hill climb. But anyways, it was, you know, I dropped the gear about 1,800 RPM. I climbed the hill just fine, you know, just normal. You know, on a stock tune and all that EGR, DPF stuff clogged up its exhaust hole, the engine can't breathe, you know, so it just drops gears, and that's good. And what I wanted to underline is sometimes, not sometimes, but there's a point where you got to drop a gear, where you got to keep that air moving, where you got to keep the EGTs down, you know. So, you know, like I mentioned, coolant, oil temp don't go anywhere. So, I got peace in my heart that EGTs are definitely not going to go anywhere. I know that's a sketchy statement, but looking at other trucks, you know, like I got a 96 12 valve. When my EGTs are moving, my temperature gauge is moving more or less, but it's noticeably moving, you know. So that's one indication. I understand that's an argument. You know, you can argue that statement, but that's what I learned for myself, and I feel perfectly fine pushing, you know, holding that pedal all the way down and in the first tune and not worry about EGTs, because like I said, it'll downshift, you know, and it'll downshift to 2,500 if it needs to, but those are on the stupid tall loads that I've done in the past. I mean, just a brick wall. You want a stupid load, get a heavy container to haul. That's a stupid load. It's a brick wall. It's heavy. Trucks hate them, especially with these high-end gears. They just hate them because the way these transmissions work, once you dip into the lower gears, they're geared pretty steep, so they can pull anything, you know. But then when you get on the highway, they're highway gears. So, like you can tell, you know, turning 1550 still has enough power to do all these little ups and downs. It's awesome. Anyways, guys, I wanted to mention something before I forgot. Wait, did I forget already? Shoot, I forgot already. Alright, well, maybe I'll remember it. Make a fourth part to this video. But anyways, that's about it, man. That's what I wanted to show you guys. Wanted to underline the fact that I do oil changes every 15,000 miles, and I really feel like I could go further than that. I run Schaefer's oil, and it's good stuff, you know. One of my trucks started running 20,000 miles, and here pretty shortly we'll send some tests to the lab and see what the results come back with. But anyways, guys, once I remember what I wanted to underline, man, my memory's horrible. I guess I'll have to throw part 4 in here. Alright, guys. Bye. Alright, guys, I remember what I wanted to say. I wanted to talk about head bolts. Am I saying that right? Head studs. I'm not going to say who it is. It's a very reputable guy. He does a lot of aftermarket stuff. And he has good quality product. As far as I remember, he only does Dodges. We've become really good friends, and as soon as I tuned this thing, and he found out I don't have head studs. He's like, oh my god, dude, you gotta get head studs, and when I talked to the tuner, which I can say who it is, because everybody knows I'm running EFI Live by Ryan Milliken, I'll talk to, I think it was Cody at the time. Cody and Ryan, I believe. I got the chance to talk to Ryan. Lately, I can't get a hold of Ryan for nothing. Ryan's too busy, so they just won't let you get a hold of him. But anyways, I was like, dude, you know, so-and-so's telling me, and Ryan knows this guy, because he's a big owner. He's big in this aftermarket stuff. He has a lot of good product for the Cummins, and he's saying that I need head studs. Paul, you don't need a head stud, you know, and he would explain it to me, go into details about his tuning, and I'm like, well, why, you know, X and X are blowing, or XYZ are blowing head gaskets, and he would explain to me that the fact that the tuning was right, I don't want to say exactly who it is, well, not that I don't want to say it exactly. I don't know exactly who it is, but I want to say either H&S or Minimax, and I don't know if that's the same company now. Don't call me stupid, because I'm telling you right now, I don't know who it is, but one of those two companies, either or, didn't do the tuning right. So when the computer thinks, like I'm understanding this properly, like the way I understood it, Ryan explained it to me, the computer at some point still tries to regen, and it doesn't throw any check engine lights. But at that point, something needs to be done to the VGT vanes, so it needs to compensate for the extra pressure, if I remember right. And when you delete all that, it's compensating for the the EGR, but you got no EGR. So these 07 to 12, I don't know if it was until 12 or 09. Well, anyways, don't quote me on that, but head studs, head gaskets are all over the internet, people blowing them. So I said hell with it. I went out and bought me 625 ARPs. I think they're for 1,000 horse or something like that, and I put them in this truck. I've had good luck, haven't had any problems with it. And let me tell you guys, if you're gonna do your own head studs, yeah, give it to a shop. We did it, or I should say, I did it. My company did it for me, meaning guys that worked in my office or my shop. I should say office. The guy that works in the shop for me, he did it, but man, he was sweating. By the time they were done torquing them, oh my god, dude, it's quite the workout. So anyways, and at the same time, the same tune was installed on another truck that was deleted. Well, I have good news for you. Neither of the truck blew a head gasket, and we're about 100,000. Well, no, we're a little bit more than 100,000 on that truck with no head studs, no blown head gasket, and this truck somehow always gets the heaviest loads. More or less, there's a guy with a CD on it, and it's a long story. I'm not going to get into details, but he always got the heavy loads. He always hauled stuff that should have never been behind that truck, and the truck is perfectly fine. The guy loves the truck. He actually misses it. I gave him a brand new Dodge a couple months ago, and he went for it. I'm like, dude, you're a senior driver. Here you go. Here's a brand new truck. It's your call. You want to drive it? If you don't, stick with your, I have that burgundy Dodge that I'm talking about. He's like, no, I want the new truck. And recently we talked. He's like, man, I miss that burgundy truck. But yeah, he got a brand new truck now, so it's a hit and miss for him. But I promised him I'll delete his truck sooner or later. Time will show. Right now, it's a little stretched financially. You just gotta be smart with the economy and everything. You can't just put all your money down and expect to make, big bucks tomorrow or whatever. Just, gotta do some planning, and that's what I'm doing. Sorry guys, I'm not videotaping very well. And we've done 100,000+ on that truck, and I gotta admit, what can I say? This truck hauled 100,000+ miles with this tune, stock head bolts, no problems. So that's what I wanted to underline. The questions in the air, seems like not a lot of people are blowing 13, 14, 15, or 16 head gaskets, and I gotta say, that it's the tuning. What else could it be, at this point? If I got two trucks running two identical tunes, neither or blew a head gasket, which seems to be a problem in the older, am I saying that right? Older 6.7s. Anyways, yeah, just wanted to underline that, and for me it was a big issue, because my buddy was like, dude, you're gonna blow a head gasket, Well, thank God I didn't, and I'm not planning on blowing any. I got other trucks that are deleted, less miles on them, but no blown head gaskets, because those guys with the 6.7s, they're blowing head gaskets left and right, the older ones, so I guess it is tuning. Anyways guys, like always, let me know what you want to know. Peace. Have a good day, guys. I'll enjoy mine.